Hi everyone. Hi friends. Welcome to today's meditation and co-creation. I've left some time out so people are maybe not used to these meetings. It's good to gather again. The energies have been very turbulent to say the least once again. So we can allow ourselves, and especially today, I'm going to focus on deepening into silence and working with the heart on the right. Ramana referred to this as Hridayam, and I recently learned from Ramaji how the impulse from the heart on the right every morning as we wake up, this impulse awakens in us just that one split second between you coming back to this person who you really are. I mean, no, to the person who you think you are, and awakening into this reality. There's this split second, and there's this impulse that is actually sent from the heart on the right all the way to your third eye that reestablishes this reality. And Ramaji, who is the writer of 1000, a book called 1000, said that he was actually tracing that movement. It's almost like a light beam that shoots from the right side of your heart and then up to the third eye, and all of your kind of matrixial reality is reestablished so that you know that this is that person in this house having to go to this job and having these children and all of the characteristics that you are confusing yourselves to be as. And it is a very powerful technique to start deconstructing this space, to deconstruct this space of the mind, deepening more and more into the silence of the heart in order to truly um, arrive at a deeper sense of who you are. And I've been actually practicing that a lot lately. Um, and I often talk about the three binding forces. And I'm going to reiterate the three binding forces because they are what keep this body here in this reality, and the mind in this reality, and the emotions in this reality. Um, People are just late today. Okay. Um, so the three binding forces are the tamas, the tamoguna, which is the heavy, very dense, lethargic, depressing energies. That's the tamoguna. Then we have the rajas, which is the movement, the action, the doing. And then we have the sattva, which is the pure, the light, the true, adhering to moral, a sense of transcended values. And the body is made up of all the three binding forces. And why is it important to veer our life towards the sattvic life? Is because if you live in sattva, then you are actually undoing, in itself, you're undoing all the karmic imprinting, all of these binding forces that are actually unconsciously affecting the body, the mind, the senses, and they're always pulling them outward. It is a precious, precious opportunity to be born as a human being, no matter how unusual this sounds. And it would be nice to teach our children already from a very young age not to waste an incarnation. Of course, humanity as a whole does veer towards goodness and morality and purity and all of these beautiful base values that humans really stand by. But we have to turn really deeply in our lives and see, are we truly veering towards the light, veering towards truth, veering towards honesty, service? All of these very basic tenets of a life affirming way of being. And slowly, slowly, as we are more and more opening up to this realization that our life needs to echo the gesture of nature when you look outside of yourself. The sun shines upon you unconditionally. The rain pours down you unconditionally and on all of creation here on earth. The trees give you shade unconditionally. The trees are also bearing fruit unconditionally. And that is teaching us how to be part of nature, in symbiosis with nature and each other. That is a very direct teaching, very simple, very direct. And the more and more we are veering towards sattvic, a sattvic way of life, more and more light is embodied in our vessel. We become more conscious, and we are actually moving farther and farther away from this very limiting personality. Or, in other words, we are also just merging the personality back into a deeper, a truer state. Okay. So today we are going to work towards opening this path, going beyond the opening of the heart on the right. And the very first, interestingly, the very first written source about the heart on the right is from Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. And he is directing Arjun in the Bhagavad Gita, talking about the heart on the right, which then became this very deep teaching of the Advaita tradition or non-duality, which is mostly the Vedic tradition. I would also add this is very male oriented, the Vedic tradition, very male, masculine oriented. But it's nice that there is the Vaishnava teaching and Shaivism. And I think Krishna was the one who actually collapsed these two opposing teachings. And he is always teaching from the perspective of the heart. Okay, so let's delve into the meditation today together. So sit around the fire together. And we start circulating our heart flame as you drop all of your attention and focus to the back body. At the back side of the heart as we connect to our higher self. I am presence. Mother, Father, God. Just quickly do a scan of your body and see, where do you most identify yourself as a locationality of I am? Is it in your third eye? Is it in your heart space? Is it in your gut? Where do you feel the dominance of that? So it is just an inquiry. Where is the dominance of I am? Is there a particular place? Is there maybe a pressure anywhere? A sattvic lifestyle also entails to have a one-pointed attention, intention. And when we talk about desire, kama, desire can be from a tamasic point of view, from a rajasic point of view, or from a sattvic point of view. Desire from tama or tamoguna is eating, sleeping. From the rajasic point of view is sex or doing, toiling, achieving. And desire from a sattvic point of view is this unquenchable fire in your heart to merge with the divine that you are. And from all desires, this one is the most revered one. Just feel that flame in your heart. Awakening that flame. The sankalp, or the intention of this today's meditation, is to merge with the flame of Bhagwan. Mhm. With the flame of your true self. It's a very unusual bhakti. Singing yourself back to the divine until you just merge, become one with it. And that flame is always reminding us of our wholeness. It is a daring journey, because it's asking of you to disappear. Enter deeper into the flame of the heart. And in this co-joined space, only the highest truth, love, light, wisdom, will of one can teach us, transform us, remind us. So it is. The fervor of this flame in your heart is incessantly calling you towards itself. No matter what reflections you see out there, what you call your life, it's always moving your gaze towards itself, towards the purity, transcendence, beauty, embodied wisdom. So I ask and pray that each one of us may connect to their Vasudev, inner guru, inner knowing, the inner voice of their flame. This flame is part of Mother Shakti in its manifest form. And this flame is also part of the unmanifest Shiva principle. As Shiva consciousness is enlivening energy, igniting energy so that it moves, creates in its beauty, magnificence, enormity. Just feel into it. What enormity is Mother Shakti? And you are in it. Just feel that your body is made up of all the 5 elements. You haven't even started grasping the mystical, the deep mystery of your being. As this body is actually a love affair between energy and consciousness. And we're called, the flame is calling to make matter conscious and lightening every single cell, the nucleus, the seed atom, embodying all of these photonic particles. Did you know that photons don't have shadow? Allow the heart, this flame, to burn through all of the heart walls, all of the protective mechanisms that are stopping the flame from endowing or eating up, devouring, devouring everything that is not of the light. Notice, devour all of these defense mechanisms. The flame is teaching you a free fall, nothing to hold on to. It's burning up all of your concepts, all of your plans, all of these safety procedures that you've set up to make life happen. Just practice. What does it feel like to stand in the flame of your heart? And all you can hear is the ever playful flute of Bhagwan or Krishna, Vitala, playing the flute, transmitting the sacred sound of creation. As you remember, start remembering. Making matter conscious. This heart flame is spreading into your throat and into your solar plexus. And it's moving as a vortex, drawing in everything into itself. As you know, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, and all the rest of the chakras are vibrational realities. And the heart is now guiding them into a 0 point. First, we address energy. Allow this flame to be collapsing into itself. All the falsehood that we start attaching to. Allow this unencumbered, radical nakedness, openness of this light to deconstruct the veils that you have been playing with, maybe even for thousands of lifetimes. Recognize that the only reason, if there's any reason, you've chosen embodiment, is to trace yourself back to source. Notice how you already played enough with phenomena. You've engaged your five senses. You've created mirages. And now it's time to peel it all back. It is like a movement of your breath. You inhale and you exhale. Just like creation inhales all of itself into the 0 point and exhales, creates all that is. It's a fluctuation between Vishnu and Shiva. And we call Shiva as the master of this flame of your heart. Shiva is the Ishvara embodied, human, who traces itself back to source, the self. Vishnu says, I am all that, all the creation. And Shiva says, I am. I am. Notice. Maya, illusion, is one. It's supreme reality. Moving into the third eye and sacral chakra, just expanding the heart. Drawing all of it inside itself, everything and anything that is not of the light. I am that I am. Tat Vam Asi. That is that peeling yourself back into the inception. And the heart spreads all the way to the crown and the root. collapsing all of it back into the 0 point. The darkness. What is present here? Only silence. This silence is undoing all the knots of suffering. Shiva is very still. Shiva observes the lila, the play of creation. Just like you notice. If you can observe your body, your emotion, sensation, thought, can you be any of those? back to the inception. Notice how the heart on the right go to the center of your chest and a little bit to the right. Is this vanishing point, this vortex, the seat of yourself? As it's drawing all of the movement, energy back into itself, into the inception. It's a pregnant stillness. It's an alive stillness. A source that of all that is. And now notice the relationship between the space and light. The backside of your heart on the right is receiving the light of consciousness in the form of the 10,000 suns. It has a double function. It collapses all that is back into itself, and it is the space of emanation. So it is the source, it receives light, and then it emits light. It is like a projector, but invisible. Collapse. your sense of your body into this light. We incinerate the body with this light. As we raise in vibration frequency, the light particles become faster and faster. The implosion of this photonic luminescence is dissolving. Our sense of being bound. Just feel the body is no longer an obstacle. Merge the body into the light, with the light. In this place, the heart on the right is emitting the power of your Rishi self, the 10,000 sun. Notice it is the backdrop of the scenes of your reality. See how the light is making love with consciousness. And your spine had turned into liquid light, liquefying all of your cells, your brain, pure crystalline luminescence. Open up to the deluge of intimacy. It's like pouring into you. The intimacy of Source is pouring into you. Nothing to hold on to. It's like Bhagwan or Krishna lending their ecstatic body to you. Playing this flute of the pristine cosmic sound. going to the highest loka, the abode of the gods and beyond. You came here to play, and you can choose to play in many realms, and you can also be the seer of all the realms. Engage with your longing. In this love ship. True intimacy is arrived at through openness. Who am I? Thank our higher selves, our presence, our guides, Babaji, Shiva, for the teacher. Feel the space underneath your body, top of your head, space on your right side, space on your left side, space in the front, space in the back. And as you open your eyes, you have a soft focus. You're not looking at anything in particular. Slowly dissolving our entrained, rigid attachment to the so-called outside reality. And when you trace yourself back to the seat of the self, everything stays as it is. Only the hooks, the tatters have been dissolved. And these hooks and tatters are duping you into identification, into the density. And you're afraid if you let go of these tatters that you're just not going to be. But I guess the only way to find out is to plunge. That's the only way. Plunge into this love affair. If anybody has an inquiry, a question, a comment.
Plunge. It's quite beautiful. There was a couple moments that were highlighted for me that I wanted to ask you about. They were specific words, and I wanted to hear your meaning behind it. The first one was about the first word was unquenchable, unquenchable urge to
Thirst.
merge back into the divine self. And then later on, it felt like the same message, but there was the word used was a longing. And when I hear these words, they feel unreachable or obsessive. And then when you ended with plunge, I'm like, oh, okay. But does that make sense? Can you, when you say an unquenchable urge to merge with the divine self?
Well, maybe just use these words as like, of course, these are just pointers, and words are still
Yeah.
in the domain of the mind, and we want to point to something that's actually supramental. So all the words are failing here, of course, but let's say let's call this unquenchable yearning and this fire just the fuel that is needed. This is when I was talking about the Kama. I'm sure everybody heard about this word Kama Sutra, huh? The Sutra of Desire, and then it teaches you the divine union act, yes. But Kama on a sattvic level is this pure desire to merge with the divine.
Yeah.
It's just
That
the
works.
fuel. It's the fuel
Yeah.
that leads you there until there you will notice that it's laughable because it's already here.
Can we call it an innate natural magnet?
Yeah, Emmy says like it could be a natural magnet in some of us. You know, some of the people, for example, Adele loves singing bhajans, and I do too in a way. And they say that bhaktis who sing bhajans and they're repeating the names of Bhagwan, of the Lord, it actually is there kind of uniting with him in that act of singing. It is a wonderful gesture, and sometimes, you know, people are connecting with the divine through different means, and there are very many means to this is very new to me, this kind of love affair, longing of this purity of merging and opening to this intimacy with the divine, which really destroys everything that is false. Um, you can go at it through Advaita um, means, which is more like inquiry, and also through Jnana, which is knowledge, reading the Upanishads and the Puranas and all the holy books. So you can go at it in many ways. I go at it at many directions. But this lately is making my heart sing better. And a lot of the people, for people, this is a very direct means to kind of sing and remember in this beautiful love connection. Because something, you see, something is calling you to get to know who you truly are. And of course, at the end, you find out that that's you. But that's it. Mm. And yes, bhajans also help to, bhajans are these songs that you sing, divine songs, and they also help you to stop the mind.
You have examples of those you can post or send, yeah.
Should do it. Yeah. Yeah, well, you plunged, Keith. It's very nice. Into the lake.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm grounded in right now in seating. And when you ended it with plunge, the word you described the plunge, I was like, okay, here we go. This makes sense. I think you ended it with just this, who am I? And that resonated for a couple minutes. And I guess what you just explained of the unquenchable urge and a longing is to return to ourself. That's who I am. I'm the traveler returning to myself, the one.
Who then ceases to be a traveler or anything, really.
I like the word though. You also gave me another line for the second verse of the song. You said, stand in the flame of the heart.
Fire of the heart or flame.
Fire of the heart. Thank you. That is all.
Mm.